Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking college football. It's bowl season. We're heading down to Orlando for the Cheez-It Bowl between Oklahoma State and Miami. So 2020 is almost over, thank goodness, and we've got a promo code to celebrate. The code is 2021 for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. Number 18 Miami is not the favorites in this one. Number 21 Oklahoma State favored by 1. The total is 61. This one opened at 2.5, but it's gone all the way down to 1, with Oklahoma State still being the favorite. We've got Craig Trapp joining us to break down. Craig, I've gone back and forth on this one. This one seems very evenly matched between these two teams, and I think that's why the line is so close. What's your take on the mighty Cheez-It Bowl?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with strength of schedule. Like, what do you believe in? Do you believe the Big 12 was more balanced than years past, or do you believe the ACC was more balanced than years past? To me, I think that ACC was much, much better this year. I think Notre Dame, Clemson, obviously, these two are in the Final Four. And then I think North Carolina's pretty good, and I think this Miami team's pretty good. And on the other side, I'm just not a believer in the Big 12 this year. Outside of Oklahoma, I think rest of those teams are average to below average teams. And I think you're going to see it in bowl season. And I included in this one, I think Miami, they were a team that was more affected by COVID than maybe any other team in college football. They had a lot of cancellations, but they played a lot of games with not even a full roster of teams. I mean, I remember the Virginia Tech game. They had like hardly any of their defenders there. Still found a way to come back and win that game. They really showed some fight. And I love that King not only is finishing up a solid season, he's announced he's coming back for a fifth season. So I like that because that means he's coming to play at this bowl game, and I think he'll lead Miami to a nice win here. I like Miami Hurricanes plus the 1 point. -1, +1 doesn't matter. I think Miami wins by a field goal to a touchdown, and what should be a pretty exciting game, I think.
And just a few opt-outs to keep an eye on for Miami. Their two top sack guys, Jalen Phillips, who led the team in sacks, both opted out for this game. So something to keep your eye on when it comes to this Miami defense. But as you mentioned, De'Ara King is coming back. I know that's going to be a big boost, not only for their offense next year, but also for their morale heading into this one. And I think when bowl games, we're handicapping them, you've got to look at motivation. That is one of the key things, I think, when you're talking about end of season games here. And I think Miami's going to be nice and motivated, especially coming off a blowout loss to Carolina at home, 62-26. So they've had that one lingering just in the back of their minds for the past couple of weeks, where they gave up 750 total yards of offense. That's my question here is, will they be able to make a stop against this Oklahoma State team that's actually been able to run the ball really well? I know Chuba Hubbard opted out back in November, but still they've had 3 straight games with 100-yard rushers in every game. So Oklahoma State is also enticing in this one. Are there any other factors you're looking at when it comes to these two teams?
I think the over is a solid play as well in this one because, like you said, Miami really hasn't. I mean, they were known for defense for what, the last 5 or 6 years. Everybody said they just had a quarterback. They finally get a quarterback, and then the defense, Manny's defense. Manny Diaz, of course, was the defensive coordinator when they were so good. The turnover chain, all that. It has not been a factor this year. So I think there's going to be lots of points. I just think Miami's going to outscore Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State hasn't stopped a whole lot of people either. So I think the over is a solid play, but my better play is going to be Miami plus the 1 point here.
Right. I think the deciding factor for me is, like you kind of touched on earlier, is the strength of schedule. Statistically, it looks like Oklahoma State should win this game on paper, but I think Miami playing both Clemson and both North Carolina, two really dynamic offenses, have kind of skewed the stats to be a little different. I think Miami's been a lot better when they're not facing those really, really top-tier offenses. Because, I mean, who's looked good against Clemson? And even North Carolina, that offense puts up points on just about everybody. So something to keep in mind when looking at the Cheez-It Bowl. But that's going to do it for our college football bowl talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Craig Trapp. As always, Craig, thanks for joining us.